Okay, we now want to draw some angles that are given in radians, and we have to remember that we're trying to figure out where they belong in terms of 90 degrees, but since we're in radians, it's going to be by pi over 2, pi, 3 pi over 2, and then 2 pi. So in this case, if I look at this first angle, the angle is pi over 3. Pi over 3 is not quite 2 pi over 2, so we are going to have the angle drawn in the first quadrant. So there is pi over 3. Moving to the second one, pi over 6. Pi over 6 is bigger than a half. 5 over 6 is not quite a whole. 6 over 6 would be 1 full pi, which would take us to the 180 degrees. But 5 pi over 6 is not quite there, but it is larger than a half of a pi. So we are going to be in this second quadrant. It's close to being 1 full, but it's not fully there yet. So we have 5 pi over 6. And negative pi over 4 means we are going to go in the clockwise direction instead of counterclockwise. Pi over 4 is not yet to pi over 2, which would be down, negative pi over 2, which would be down to in between the third and the fourth quadrant. So we are halfway, pi over 4 is halfway of pi over 2. So we are going to draw our angle negative clockwise halfway through quadrant 4. So with that, draw the angle in standard position and find a coterminal angle. So here we have 7 pi over 6. 6 pi over 6 is 1 whole pi, which would take us to that 180 degrees. We are another pi over 6 away from that, so we're continuing in the counterclockwise direction. We are actually going to be in the third quadrant. So this is going to be our angle. And to be a coterminal angle, we have to add on or another full rotation. So we would be 1 rotation around plus that, but we are talking about radians instead of degrees. So we are adding on 2 pi instead of 360 degrees. Since we are working in a denominator of 6, 2 pi is actually 12 over 6 pi. So we end up with 19 over 6 pi. Or we could subtract that 2 pi, so 12 pi over 6. So we could subtract that circle, and we can be at negative 5 pi over 6. So that would take us in the clockwise direction with our starting position and our terminal side same place.